Hey guys, it's Martin here from AffEngineer.com. This video is going to be covering um, a topic that I get asked a lot about, and that's how much should you be spending to be testing a campaign. There's no strict answer to this. A lot of people go about it in many different ways. Initially, I used to spend about $30 to spend, and I used to spend about $30, and I wouldn't touch my campaign until $30 is spent or somewhere close to that, as you can see here. As you can see here. Um, and then after that, I would evaluate whether or not I wanted to pursue that campaign. But in time, you kind of realize which indicators kind of give you um, an idea of what is going to be a good campaign and what's going to be a bad campaign, or a campaign that you're going to be struggling to make margins on. So these days I try and look for something that's going to be a good or great campaign. I don't want a campaign that's just going to be breaking even and I'm going to have some days where I'm making a loss or some days I'm making a profit. Because overall there's no point going through all this when you're going to be making, $20 from it, or you're going to be losing $20 from it. There's no real point in that. So these days I kind of dropped my $30 test to about $20. So I've been testing with $20, but so these are all previous campaigns that I've stopped going ahead with, and that's how much I've gone about spending. Sorry, I should have covered this before, but this is, let me just write it down. This is total total spend, right? Which is this column here. This is your CTR. This is your amount of clicks. Yeah, it's clicks. Frequency, you don't really need that. That's your reach, and that's PP. How much it's cost me to how much it's costed me to get that. How much it's costed me per engagement. Anyway, so let's put this here. Okay. So what I wanted to just really briefly cover is there's no right or wrong answer to this, but I wanted to just touch upon a few indicators that give you an idea of what your campaign's gonna most likely look at. Now, what you want to be doing is you want to be targeting the most relevant pages or the most relevant demographic first. So when you're kind of putting in your audience, when you're kind of building up your audience by putting in interests on your Facebook targeting platform, you don't want to be putting in straight away everything you can think of, right? You want to be putting in your most targeted audience, even if that's about 20,000 or 30,000. Once you've got that about 20,000 or 30,000, I would start advertising. Why you want to do that is because you want to get an indication if your best buyers will actually buy. What's the point of building up such a big audience when you're going to get no results? But once you start to see some momentum, you can always go ahead and add more targeted audience, and that's how I've been doing it recently. So with that in mind, um, so yeah, I've been going to about $30 to $20 of an ad spend. That's how I've been doing it previously. But see, nowadays you can I kind of go by the CTR, right? If the CTR's between 2 to 4%, then I generally think it's going to be a pretty crap campaign. It's very rare I find a campaign that turns out profitable, that has a CTR this low. And so if my CTR is this low and I've spent about $10 on it approximately, then I'll just go ahead and say, oh, it's a pretty crap campaign, and I'll cancel it right there. If it gives me a sale, then I'd probably keep it going or have a relook at it, and maybe, well, if it's giving me a crappy CTR but it's getting me a sale, well, that means that they may like it enough to buy it, but maybe a better design would get me a better CTR, but there's definitely buyers out there for it, so I may relaunch it and tweak the design a little bit. But in most cases that doesn't happen. I just cancel it and move on and try and find something else that works, and like and like that I'd go ahead and do this whole process about, I'd launch about 5 or 6 campaigns a day. So I'd be spending, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, maybe 70 to $80 a day just testing different campaigns. And I've done this for about 2 to 3 months. Just recently I've slowed it down a bit because I've been trying to get these tutorials out, especially in the month of August, which is this month. But um, as you can see, there's no right or wrong answer. You just keep going, and if you're getting a pretty crap CTR between 2 to 4% and you've made no sales, then $10 to $15 would be enough to test that. I mean, I'd cancel it after about $10, $10, right? What you want is a good amount of clicks to go through so you can, you've given it a good chance for someone to go ahead and buy it. If you've only seen about 10 clicks gone through, then and you've seen no buyers and you're getting all upset and edgy because you're not making any sales, well, you haven't given it a fair test. You need a good, generally you need about 80 to 100 to go by. I mean, once you've got 100 people that have gone through and seen your ad and still haven't made a purchase, sorry, not seen your ad, but have seen your actual design and still haven't made a purchase, well then that tells you something's wrong with your design. So I'd go ahead and yeah, it really goes through it. It goes by CTR mainly. So between 4 to 6%, I'd keep it going till about $20, $25. I kind of get annoyed when it's about 6% of a CTR and you still get no sales, or you may make one sale. So you said I mean, it's a catchy design, but just maybe the demographic is not really a buyer demographic, right? That happens a lot. So I mean, I'd go to $30 and get disappointed and just cancel it. You can't be emotionally attached and be like, oh, you've got one sale, you made $10, but you spent $30, and you want to get the revenue for that $10, so you keep spending more and more money, because you think you're going to get a good CTR, and you just hope miraculously your sales are going to go through the roof one day, but it just consistently, of a $30 ad spend, you may make 1 to 2 sales a day, giving you $10 profit, but you're still consistently losing $10 a day. So you can't be emotionally attached to this process. If if you've made this much of a spend and you haven't made any sales, or you've made one sale, don't be afraid to just go to $30 and just cancel the campaign, or pause the campaign and move on to another one. You shouldn't be emotionally attached. And if you're emotionally attached to this whole process, you're not going to be able to kind of churn out campaigns and eventually find that one campaign that'll make you a lot of money. It just really takes one campaign to give you the people that you've seen that have made maybe 10 to 20K a month have made that predominantly off either one idea or one design. But in the process they've tested about 50 to 100 different designs. Some people, it's not rare to find someone that's tested about 100. I mean, I tested about 50. So 50 of them I tested and I put about $20 to $30 each. So about $1,500 I've spent on just testing. But when I hit, I made about $80,000. So it'll all cover itself once you find that. The key is to keep churning out designs. So anyway, I hope this has given you an overall view of the fact that it's not black or white. It depends on a lot of factors: your CTR, your ad spend, the amount of sales you made, obviously, and even your how much you're getting charged per engagement. That makes a difference as well. So just go by it. There's no formula to it. $30 is the max I'd spend going through and analyze if I've just made one sale or zero sales. I'll cancel it there and then. If I'm getting a crappy CTR and I've made no sales from a spend of $10 to $15, I'll cancel it again. And yeah, I hope I've covered the whole question of how much should you be spending for testing. Um, anyway, I'll join you guys in the next video.